boy am I glad to tell you that this cigar finally woke up. Alright, what's going on guys? Welcome back to the Cigars of London YouTube channel. I hope you all had a great week and a great weekend. My name is Jed, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Rocky Patel 20th Anniversary cigar. A very nice looking cigar, looks slightly box pressed. My wrapper, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see on the camera, but it has some white speck near the foot, and I'm not exactly sure what that is. I don't think it's supposed to be there, but nevertheless, it's still an interesting looking cigar. Nothing jumping out at me off the wrapper. But let me give you some details about this cigar. So this particular cigar is 5 inches with a 54 ring gauge. Honduran, Nicaraguan tobaccos, and the wrapper is also Honduran, and apparently that's going to give off a natural sweet flavour to this cigar, so I'm looking forward to that. As you can see, it's quite a nice aesthetic to the band. I always take a moment to appreciate the artwork on the band. Black, gold and silver, quite a nice colour combination there. I hope you guys can see that. But I'm going to go right in, cut this cigar and get started. I do believe I've tried one of these cigars before. I don't think I reviewed it on the YouTube channel. I think it was just one that I had whilst I was out and about, maybe having a coffee or something. But it'll be interesting to revisit the cigar because I cannot exactly remember whether I liked it or not. So let's get this thing toasted. And whilst I do this, I just wanted to give you a quick shout. In part 2 of the video, I'll be responding to some of your guys' comments on previous videos, because I do appreciate you all taking the time out to comment, give your feedback on the videos, thoughts on the cigars that I'm smoking. It's always good to hear from you guys. Myself and John have been busy this week putting together a few new podcasts which you can be expecting to be live soon. One thing I also wanted to mention, I see a few of you guys commenting, oh, the cigar wasn't lit properly, and then there's the other end of the spectrum where people are like, oh, you probably had a bitter cigar because you burnt the hell out of it. Now, I just wanted you guys to bear in mind that when I'm making these videos, it is all one take, and I do like to keep them within the 10-minute mark. I'm aware of your time more than anything. With that being said, if the cigar isn't quite lit properly, it will catch up. It's never deterred away from the smoking experience. And I'm also not a believer, in fact I take that back, if you torch the hell out of a cigar, yes, it might take away some of the flavours, it might add a slight bitterness to the cigar, but I don't think it's going to make a huge difference. But enough of that, let's take a first draw of this Rocky Patel cigar and we'll see how we get on. Nice draw. Good amount of resistance. And that's another thing. In my last video, if you haven't seen it already, I'll put it somewhere in the screen so you can catch up. I mentioned the fact that I had a cold. Well, I actually think it's hay fever. The reason I thought it was a cold is because hay fever at this time of the year in the UK isn't usual, but we have had some sunny spells here in the UK, some nice temperatures, and I have been doing a lot of gardening work out and about, so I don't think that's helped out. So I am struggling a little bit with cigars, but hopefully I have been taking some like allergy tablets, so hopefully it's going to help me breathe and enjoy the cigar to its fullest. I always enjoy a box press cigar. It's quite an enjoyable experience in the sense of, you know, how it feels in the hands and in your mouth. It's quite, it's comfortable. It's easy to smoke, and I believe the idea in a box press is so you can put it on the edge of a table and it won't roll off. It will just sit there. Now, I could be making that up, but I'm pretty sure that's a matter of fact. So, I'm going to let this thing heat up and develop as usual, and I will see you in part 2 in a few minutes, and we'll see exactly how I'm getting on. And welcome back to part 2 of the video. As you can see, I've just finished the first third of this cigar. So far, smoking really well, very nice smoke output. The burn earlier on, it did start to dip down this one side in a strange way. It literally just started creeping down a very fine edge almost. But in fact, I've never seen anything like it before. But the whole cigar has caught up. It's still a little bit uneven, but I'm just going to leave it. I don't really need to sharpen anything up at the moment. I might need to touch up this edge in a minute because it's still burning warm but not hot, so that might have gone out. I might need to sharpen that up a bit later on, but we'll see. Other than that, how's the cigar going so far? There's a slight pepperiness to this cigar, which is always quite typical with these cigars, and I hate to say it because it sounds kind of negative, but it gets a little bit boring, to be honest. I'm already missing the Cuban cigars, which always goes back to my whole question, Cubans versus non-Cubans. And I hate to break it to you guys, but I think I'm a Cuban cigar guy through and through. It's a nice cigar so far. It's just not really wowing me. There's nothing about it that makes me think, oh, this is great, this is incredible. I'm definitely going to need to buy another one of these and try it with some friends. But I guess I'm only just getting into the halfway mark of this cigar, so there is still a bit of a way to go. It might continue to develop a little bit. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. A slight leatheriness to the cigar. Do you know what? I just don't think it's my cup of tea. It's not a bad cigar by any means. It's just not my thing. And I am just going to touch up that edge because it's starting to bug me a little bit. It's also frustrating for me because there's nothing for me to really report about this cigar. As I mentioned, there's nothing jumping out at me. It's quite tame. There's no real strength behind it for me personally. But we'll see. I'm going to let this continue. I'll come back for the third and final part of the video a bit later on. Maybe when I'm in the final third to really kind of gauge what this cigar really has to deliver. So I'll see you guys in a few minutes for the third and final part of the video. Alright guys, welcome back to the third and final part of the video, and boy am I glad to tell you that this cigar finally woke up. I'm not going to lie to you guys, I got to the second part of the video, I ended the clip, I took the band off, I continued to smoke, and I was waiting, and I was waiting, and I was waiting, and then finally it was like a switch, and this cigar really, really changed. It completely transformed. The first third, the second third were very mellow, very tame, almost a little bit dull, and I was getting absolutely nothing from this cigar. Nothing was wowing me, nothing was standing out. But as I'm deep into the final third now, this cigar is delivering some chocolate, coffee. The spice is still there, but the combination of flavors that I'm experiencing now, it's gone from being a very mellow cigar to something that's extremely complex in flavor profiles, and I am really, really enjoying the cigar. if this cigar was like the final third in the first and second part of the cigar, this would have been incredible. This final third of the cigar, quite honestly, is unlike anything I've experienced in a cigar. I've heard of cigars, developing, heating up and developing and building up for that final third, for like the almighty bang, the full experience where the oils in the leaf have had time to heat up, and I get that, but I've never experienced a cigar quite like this, where it quite literally, it was like there was a switch in the cigar that heated up, turned on, and started delivering all of this amazing flavor. The burn has continued to stay razor sharp after I touched it up that one time. Smoke output, very, very good. I did go on Instagram and do a little live stream. I went and made a tea. I'm having some tea with the cigar now. And it continued to stay lit, which I was very impressed about. The ash hasn't held on very well. It's not been a very strong ash, but that's no big deal. You just have to scrape it off in the ashtray to save it falling all over you. I've got into a bit of a habit of doing that. But honestly, wow. I was really hoping this wasn't going to be a disappointment, because I don't like delivering these videos to you guys and it being a bad cigar, but I won't sit here and lie to you just so it's an entertaining video, just so you go, oh wow, I'm gonna have to try that cigar. But wow, thank goodness this cigar woke up. I will end up nubbing this cigar, but for now, that's the end of this review. I will be back next week. I'll probably smoke the aging room next week for another episode of the non-Cuban cigar reviews. But wow, honestly, if you haven't tried this cigar, please go and pick one up. I'd really appreciate any of your guys' feedback also in the comments if you have already tried this cigar. Really, really amazing, actually. Quite an interesting and unique experience with that change of events during this cigar. So I really appreciate all of you watching. Feel free to leave any thoughts and comments in the comment box below. If you haven't already, be sure to check out some of my other cigar reviews. They'll be on the screen now. And don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you all very, very soon. Have a great week.